If you love curry recipes, well, you're in luck today because I'm going to be making my secret, top-ranked, delicious Thai red curry. This is Kitchen Serious. Choosing between an Indian-based curry or a Thai curry, well, it was tough. Both are incredible, but since I was craving the saucy richness of coconut milk, I decided on the Thai version. Very high-level differences are that Thai curries start with a collection of fresh ingredients, which are then blended into a paste. This is what you'll add the coconut milk to. Indian curries start with what's known as a tarka, a dry spice mixture added to hot oil. Both have vegetable versions, meat versions, and also served with long grain rice. The big difference being that Indian curries use basmati rice, while Thai curries traditionally use jasmine rice. Both delicious varieties of a long grain rice, and I'll actually make those the exact same way. If you're curious how to make a perfect batch of rice, well, I've got a video for you. I'm going to pin it down in the comments, so check that one out. So first things first, we have to make a curry paste. And for this, of course, we're going to use a red curry paste. Could you buy this at the store? Of course, they've got them in jars in your local ethnic section. But what I love about making your own is that you can control the spices as well as the heat level, which this particular one's going to be pretty warm. But again, making a red curry doesn't mean it has to be knock your socks off hot. So for this particular recipe, I'm going to use 10 to 12 arbol chilies, which are going to be considered pretty hot. But if you want to dial down the heat a little bit, I would recommend an ancho or perhaps a guajillo pepper. The process will be the same regardless of what pepper you actually choose. You'll want to generally cut them in half and try to get rid of as many seeds as you can. From here, I'm going to pour some hot water and reconstitute them. They should be ready in about 15 minutes. So let me address a couple of the ingredients you might have a hard time finding depending on your stores. This one here is in the ginger family. It's called galangal, and it imparts a very unique flavor when you mix it in with the paste. It's very peppery and not at all fragrant like the same way ginger is. So while it kind of looks like ginger, it's definitely not a ginger substitute. So if you can get a hold of some galangal, that would be ideal. Next up is these kaffir lime leaves. I didn't actually think it was that big a deal if I couldn't find them. Luckily I did, but oh my god, these, when torn and crumbled up a little bit, impart a really deep, powerful lime flavor to your dish. Like bay leaves, you don't want to eat these, so know how many you're putting in. I'm going to use about 6, and make sure you get those back out. Before we get too far down the road making this paste, we want to get our chicken cut up and marinated. As I've said before, I really prefer thighs over any other cut of chicken because they're just so flavorful. I personally buy them bone in with the skin on, and you can always take the skin off and quickly get the bone out of there. The bone is not a big deal. It's just a small little bone running up and down here, and you're just going to tease it with your knife and try to keep all the meat on there as you can. And then I like to just tuck my knife in behind it and then slowly work it out. Make sure to get any surrounding cartilage. With the skin off and the bone out, I'm going to cut these into bite-sized pieces and put them in a bowl with a little bit of fish sauce and soy sauce. These will marinate while we work on the rest of our ingredients for the curry paste. Galangal, like ginger, is kind of fibrous, so I'm going to cut this into smaller pieces to make it easier to pulverize into a paste. Speaking of that, if you want to use a mortar and pestle and do it old school, feel free. Or if you want to make it a little easier on yourself, which I'm going to raise my hand right now, you can use a hand blender. Also, for what it's worth, the 4-cup mortar and pestle as well as the hand blender are listed down in the description. Clicking these products and purchasing helps support the channel, and more importantly, we'll take a couple bucks from Uncle Jeff. So in go the reconstituted peppers, and make sure and save some of that pepper water. We've got our garlic, the lemongrass, the ginger. It never hurts to throw a little extra pepper water in there to get things going. Now I'll add the galangal and shallot. No curry is complete without a little shrimp paste. And I nearly forgot the cilantro stems. I thought I might get lucky with this little food processor. It just didn't have the horsepower to get this to a paste form. No big deal, I just moved it to another container and finished it off with my stick blender. This looks good. This is the consistency you want. I know what you're thinking, it looks like a carrot puree rather than a red curry. This is actually pretty normal. When you buy it in the store, they've added paprika to really make it that red color, which you can do if that's something important to you. We have a little prep left, not much. We just need to preheat some oil in our wok or skillet. While that's coming up to temp, let's cut up some green beans, and I'm also gonna get some basil ready. We're gonna put that in at the last minute, and that really makes the dish. Now we get to add the paste to the oil. To this, I've got 1 tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. Let this cook for a minute or so, and then add 1 cup of chicken stock. And in the meantime, you can start your rice. Now wait until it comes back up to temp and it bubbles a little bit before adding the coconut milk, which we're going to use an entire can of. Oh, that reminds me, don't buy light coconut milk. It will not turn out nearly as good. The sauce will be super thin and it won't thicken as it should. And you'll probably end up having to make a cornstarch slurry just to make up for it. Ask me how I know. And next up, we're going to add our kaffir lime leaves. I'm going to give them a little crush one more time just to bring out all those oils. And again, I'm putting 6 in, so make sure and get 6 out right before serving. Bring this up to a simmer, and this will go for about 5 minutes before adding our chicken. Now get that stirred in and let it go for another 10 minutes or so. When the chicken looks like it's almost done, this is when you want to add your green beans. Let this simmer for another 5 minutes or so, and we're going to finish this off with a healthy dose of basil. Now just let it thicken to your liking, and when you're ready, pour that over your rice, and you'll have some of the best curry you've ever had. And once again, you'll find the full breakdown of the recipe in the video's description. Hopefully you enjoy this curry as much as I have, because I'll be making it again very soon. Thanks for hanging out in Kitchen Serious, everybody. I will see you in the next one.